Are you feeling lost, alone, hopeless? Are you constantly searching for the strength to lead your life the way you want it to be led? Do you feel there's something missing in your life? If so, Prozac can help. Prozac is not a medication. It is simply you broing out with your bros, having a brotastic time. Prozac is good for any bro of any age. Prozac is not recommended for women because women are not bros. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, fist bumping, Jaeger bombs, fantasy football, wearing your hat incorrectly, muscle shirts, watching SportsCenter, beer pong, natty light and/or ice, rainbow sandals, YOLOing, P90X, homoerotic humor, Axe body spray, whey protein shakes, quoting any Will Ferrell movie, and an excessive use of the word bro. Ask your bros if they can bro out today.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to yet another episode of Rogan Radio live from the friendly confines of Studio A here at the luxurious Castle of Rogan in Lumberport, West Virginia. Finally, we had the power back on, though. That was kind of a hairy deal.
It was, you know what I did during the whole power outage, Chuck? I took a nap.
Although I think the air conditioner was running at half power.
Yeah, we do have an air conditioner. We have an air conditioner in the newly airtight now misophonia, Jimmy. Thank you.
I didn't even hear that. Good job, Jim.
I did, because I have misophonia. That's like a... that's like a mental disease.
Shh, couldn't hear, Jim. I can't hear you, buddy.
Tried to get it right.
Yeah, right in, down, and below. I know.
Hey, listen, we have a fantastic show tonight, as we say every single week. The reason it's going to be fantastic is we have a full-loaded cast tonight.
God.
We have Cindy, we have Michelle, who are finally back in the studio.
I ain't loaded. I wasn't even drinking.
What?
Huh?
What?
Listen, when I came in here, my Pure Leaf brewed sweet tea
Where's your
was
Miller High
frozen.
Life, Todd?
I
Beck?
know. I didn't.
What is
now it's
wrong
hot
with
tea.
it? Where's your Vicky bag?
Dang.
Oh my God.
Where's Todd's bag? That's the question I want to know.
That Vicky's got it in her bag.
Dang.
Jeez.
I know.
Hey, listen, we're
it's
gonna
sweet tea tonight, Michelle.
Anybody else have anything in Vicky's
Oh
bag?
wow.
Wow. Hello.
What he said?
Listen, we're going to talk.
I just
I
asked
tried
where
to get
Vicky's
moved next
bag
door
is.
so I can get my own bag, but
Wait a minute. Do I
didn't
hear
work
that
out.
voice?
I
Because
guess
it's.
we should let Chuck talk.
Listen, listen. I heard something. It sounds like Chad Puccio, straight from Monongah.
That's right. Hello, hello.
Straight from.
I am
from
back,
Monongah. Straight
and
from
I'm breaking
Monongah.
shit again.
Did that thing end?
Oh, wait a
Or was
minute.
that a
Look
cache?
at you. Let me read.
Are we still
Are we still
live?
hooked up? We still live?
Yeah. Okay. Todd was looking at his computer, and we've had the problem is we had an
There it is. Look, there it
We
is.
had an electrical problem today in the luxurious confines of Lumberport, West
Stressful.
Virginia.
So stressful.
And the problem is with that is that it's so hot. It's very humid. It's like 93
Even
degrees
hot,
outside.
hot.
And we have an air conditioner now. However, the problem is we have the machines running, all this stuff running. So the first time we went on, it overheated and it crashed.
That AC's pissed off.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm a little pissed myself, actually. Anyway, so if it kind of crashes, hey, hold tight. If it crashes more than twice, you know what? We're just not going to do it. 'Cause it's very hot.
You're disgusting.
Anyway, let's get to the show. Tonight, we're going to talk to live from Cedar Point over in Ohio. We're going to talk to Derek McIntyre, our very own D-Mac, who you haven't seen. He's like the Sasquatch of the show. He's like the enigma now.
He is.
We're also going to
He's becoming the new Mark
Derek,
Coffey.
Absolutely. He is absolutely where Cuddles has been lately. I have
Oh, you
no
haven't seen
idea.
it for a month.
We're also
2
going
months.
to fly over via telephone lines to East Shinston tonight. The big fireworks display. If somebody actually can pull that up, Jimmy or Chad, if you can
is
pull up
tonight.
where the fireworks displays are going to be for the next few days, Brucey,
Yeah,
Michelle,
knock it
something
out.
like that.
Knock it out.
And we'll tell you about all of that. But anyway, tonight Shinston's big fireworks display happens, and we're going to fly over to the one and the only Erndog. Erndog. We're going to call up Erndog, and we're going to find out some information about that. Then, after that is all finished, we're going to talk about Forvesta. Now, Forvesta is the big asteroid that is as wide as Arizona, 3 times the mass of the UK, and luckily enough for us, it's not going to hit the world, the Earth.
Or that's what they tell us.
Or that's what they tell us, or we'd never know about it. Anyhow, then we're going to call over to Clarksburg via telephone line, and we're going to... Jesus Christmas.
No. That wasn't Jimmy this time.
No, that was Darren. I was looking right now.
Oh, that was
We
Darren.
have lost all respect for everybody on this show.
We
Then we're going
love
to call over
everybody.
and we're going to
Never
run.
had.
We're going to talk to Alex Weinstein. He is running not only for Congress, but he also has we'll have to talk to Alex and let him put it in there. I don't know sure if it's actually a podcast or a radio thing. He has a channel called Rebel Force Radio. So we're
No,
going to
it's
get on
not
him.
Rebel Force Radio.
Rebel Air Force. So
Right,
we're
right,
going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Alex. He's like I said, he's running for Congress. He just makes me laugh.
We're gonna get him on the phone?
He is fantastic. He's smart, and he gets these interviews. Somehow he gets these interviews. I don't know, but every now and then he has these little things like with the sneeze and all. We'll talk about that later with Alex.
Maybe he's got deep pockets.
But he has a great idea about some of the things he wants to do in West Virginia if he actually wins this congressional seat from McKinley. So we're going to find out, but that'll be a little bit later on. So stay tuned for that.
Man, you have not taken a breath yet.
I know, man.
Because he's trying to get it in before we start.
Anyway,
talking
let's go
again.
ahead and let's go ahead and try to get over to Ohio and talk to our very own D-Mac and tell D-Mac if you would please to stand by.
I will tell D-Mac to
D-Mac
stand
is at
by.
Cedar Point. We haven't seen D-Mac. I don't even know if he's even part of the show anymore or not. But he's over there celebrating the 4th of July. This is a big weekend, by the way. And please, if you do, there is a certain etiquette to having fireworks. I mean, they have all the fireworks and stuff set off now. Just be very courteous of your neighbors and dogs because, listen, that drives them
I
crazy.
seen a thing on Facebook, Chuck, where it says if it's not the second, third, second, third, or 4th of July, then it's illegal to set these fireworks and stuff off. Is that right?
Very well.
Or like between a certain time, between this AM and this PM, or whatever.
Okay, we have D-Mac over in Ohio. So go ahead and send D-Mac a message and let him go. and just let him go. Give him an update. Is he on the
He's
Ferris?
on. He's on.
Is he on the Rogan wheel?
He looks like he's in a beer garden or something.
Yeah. All right. Just tell him to go. Just tell him to go.
Go, D-Mac, go. All right.
Hang on.
I'm from Cedar Point. Here, Megan's with me. We're on vacation right now. But anyway, it's actually kind of dead up here. The weather's a little hot. That's what it was earlier. So, you know, loving life. How's everything going back there? Hopefully pretty good. We're getting ready to, we're at the train station. We're getting ready to get on the train. We're gonna ride over to the new ride, the Steel Vengeance. We're gonna get on it. It's got a pretty long wait time. But other than that, weather's pretty good here. There's the Val Raven getting ready to drop. Watch, that's bananas right there. Bam. It's a good ride. Anyway, Maggie. But anywho, hey, if you guys want to check back with me here in just a little bit. We should be on the other side of the park where it's a little bit more busy. See what's up. Change the camera views one more time. That guy there's a stud. Look at him. He's loving life. But as you can see, it's there. But yeah, check back with me in a little bit. Reporting live from Cedar Point. It's D-Mac.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was D-Mac. Well, man, listen, the guy is everywhere, and he absolutely loves Cedar Point.
He is our man on the street. D-Mac is our man on the street.
Yeah.
You know, I like that guy because he's a natural behind the whatever he's behind.
Absolutely.
Or whoever he's behind.
Whoever he's behind, I guess.
Do we have any of the stuff for fireworks yet from around the area? Does anybody know?
Actually, I pulled some stuff up here.
Yeah, okay, let's know. Because
let's see.
Stonewood has a big one. I know Clarksburg, I believe, has a big one.
Well, as a matter of
Stonewood
fact,
actually used to. I don't think they do
this
anymore.
being
down
July
at
1st and everything.
Right.
Shinston has one at City Park. Let's see. The Shinston Community Band will serve as the lead into the fireworks display. It doesn't give any time.
That's tonight,
Tonight,
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, between 9 and 10 probably.
Okay, tomorrow, Bridgeport, join WDTV and Jenkins Subaru for the Fireworks on the Hill, 45-minute fireworks spectacular.
Yeah, that
begins at 10 p.m. Old Bridgeport Hill. Let's see, July 3rd, Clarksburg, at the amphitheater. Starts, the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra starts at 7:30. Fireworks will be at dark. Now on July 4th, we've got a bunch of them. Fairmont, Fairview, Mannington, Morgantown, Salem, West Union, McHenry, Maryland. They're all starting about the same time, around 10 p.m., dark time. Just too many different places.
Right. Anyway, speaking of fireworks, let's go to Shinston. Call up the Earn Dog, Ernie Johnson. Ernie Johnson, he is a staple of East Shinston. We grew up together out there. I don't want to tell you where he lives, but if you know Earn Dog, he's out there in Earn Dog. So we're going to get a live report from the Earn Dog.
This is the
First time ever.
This is the first year I don't have to worry about people parking in my yard.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's glorious.
Because you were over in Shinston for what, 17 years?
17 years.
And that's your renter that has to worry about it now.
I know. God love
Hello,
you,
Donnie.
Kathy.
What's up,
Sorry.
Kathy? Hello, Adam. Steve Chevron, what's going on, baby? Come on, let's get involved here a little bit.
Took someone special
Cause
like Chuck to drag you out of there, didn't
It's packed out there.
Hey,
It is packed in East Shinston tonight.
Wayne Worth said, "Who needs fireworks when you've got Vaughn Haggard?"
Oh, we can't do that right now.
Yeah, okay.
Get the phone ringing.
Back to you, Wayne. Back to
Let's
you,
see.
Wayne.
We're going to get Earn Dog on the phone here. He lives right down there by the park. We're going to find out what's going on down there.
Yeah, I wonder if it's as hot there as it is here. I don't know. Come on, Wayne.
If not, this is for Earn Dog.
Earn Dog.
Earn Dog.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Earn Dog?
Ernie.
Dog.
What's happening?
Hey, listen, man. How every single year, one thing that Mom and Dad love about the Earn Dog is that Earn Dog has allegedly, this is off the record, of course, allegedly a big fireworks display and a big party during the festivities that Shinston puts on down at the City Park. Now, how's it going down there right now?
Well, so far so good, buddy. I mean, the traffic's flowing good. It's now starting to pick up. they're bringing everybody down East Avenue now. And once they come down East Avenue, they've got a straight shot North Street to the park. But there's only a handful of places left to go into the park, and they're sending them out My Street and then back around the loop. And they're actually going Ferguson and back up on Stewart Street so they can find a place to park. But a lot of the places are, I mean, it's pretty packed already.
Tonight it's going to be, it's going to be hot, and there's going to be a lot of people down there. And the big question.
Oh, it's hot. It's hot. It's probably about 98 degrees in my garage right now.
I guarantee it. Listen, Erndog, it's about 98 degrees where we're at right now because the daggone power just came back on a little bit ago.
Oh, that's right. Your power's been out. What happened?
Oh,
who knows? But you know what's funny?
It was an outage.
But here's what's funny is that, today the power goes out. Everybody's melting and complaining and bitching because they don't have TV. They don't have AC. Now, when we were growing up over there on the east side, we couldn't wait to get the hell out of the house because it was so hot in that daggone house that we would go outside. It would actually be cooler even if it was 98 degrees.
I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the so-called AC for back in the days was pulling all the blinds down and putting a fan in each end of the house.
To suck it in.
You had to pull
the Darren, you hit the nail on the head on that one, buddy.
That's AC back in, buddy.
Yeah.
That's right. Or open the freezer and put your head in it to cool down for a little bit.
Absolutely, man.
Hear mom and dad yell at you, close that up. That stuff's going to defrost.
What are they calling down the neighborhood?
So, if your recommendation, because everything's going to be getting tight over there. Once again, we're talking about the fireworks display over in East Shinson down to Park. They say it's going to start around 8 o'clock or the festivities, but is there anything going on right now? Can you hear anything over there?
A lot's going on right now. I mean, they're playing just a little bit of soft music right now. They're getting geared up. They're trying to get all the parking arranged, of course. But I mean, I got a couple of the vendors out there, and they got that Smokies. I think it's Smokies Barbecue out there.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Smoky Bear from Bridgeport, and it's
Smoking Bear.
Yeah.
Smoking Bear. Yeah, that's what it is. And I think it's going to be a pretty good turnout once they get everything all in.
If you were going to make a recommendation for somebody going to come out tonight, what would it be as far as where parking goes? Parking Michelle's old house in her driveway and stuff, or park in front of the Erndog's house?
Actually, I would that's probably a good idea. If you wanted to, you could just bring you in some fence cutters and cut them and just pull right in the yard. She won't care.
Listen, do you have a problem like mom and dad, or people they're so rude that they'll park right in front of your garage and not even think about it?
Yeah, actually, I got that fixed up this year. I got my truck sitting in between the houses.
See, there you go.
And then I put my car in front of the house, and nobody parks in front of my house. That way, if I need to get out, I can get out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hey, Ernie.
Your mom's house right now is jam-packed, even in front of their sidewalk.
I guarantee it.
Even for the garage.
And that has nothing to do with the fireworks display.
No.
Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Would it be hard for you to find the keys of that 55 Chevy?
No. I got it in my pocket right now.
Listen.
Wow.
Erndog has a third-generation 55 Chevy. It's been in the family.
It's in the picture.
And listen, Erndog, if you could fire that thing up and let America and the world hear the Johnson pride. Because, listen, this thing right here, this thing is a beast, and I love it. Have you ever seen Ernie's 55?
Yeah, I think you and I walked over there one time a couple years ago.
Oh, listen. If you could
he lives like right across from your mom and dad, right?
Pretty much, for the most part,
pretty much, yeah.
About catty.
And if you're going to Shinson tonight,
And as many times as I've had to take you over there,
you've never got to see it.
I never got to see
Oh,
that.
no,
man.
listen, this thing's pristine.
Are you serious?
He's never, no, Ernie.
Dude,
Chad's
I went
never seen
over
it.
and even helped his dad change the wheels and tires on his car, and the man hasn't even walked me over there to see that car.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that.
I'll be darned.
Okay.
I'll be darned.
Fire that thing up, Erndog, if you can, if you don't mind.
It'll take a second because it runs on 112 octane.
You know what? God bless America, right in Independence Day. That's what you should do. You should drive that thing right down there as they're letting the fireworks display off. The band's playing, and just rub that thing right in front of it. Just go and let it eat, man. Just let it rip.
I don't think Carlson would like it.
No, I probably not so. Probably not.
No,
so.
he's a different. I'll just say he's a different breed.
That's right. That's right.
Saying it nicely.
To say it nicely,
Listen to him knocking the toys
you got to be a
around.
public person if you're a chief.
I thought that was
Absolutely.
beer
You know what I'm
cans.
saying?
Absolutely. Okay, hear the door?
Let's see if we can fire her up. She hasn't
Listen
been
to this.
fired up for a couple of days.
I'm just going.
Ooh.
It's trying.
Oh, it's there.
There we go.
Yeah, baby.
I'll put the phone down to the pipes.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
He's probably gonna blow the phone.
Oh yeah, listen, this thing is nice. I mean, it is mint condition. And Earn Dog's going to let it warm up.
The sound's cutting out.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. No, we can hear it. Absolutely, we can hear it.
I didn't know if you could hear it or not.
Listen, that car.
There it is.
That thing, I'll tell you
much
what,
better,
man.
much better.
Okay, I'm leaving the show. I'm going over.
I guarantee it. Did you, Ernie? Have you done any modifications to that? I mean, who did all? I mean, it's not purely stock. I mean, that thing. Did your dad do a lot of stuff to that car, or was it? I mean,
it's been restored. All the original chrome's on it. He did a full restoration as far as put a 383 stroker motor. It's probably pushing close to close to around 500 horses.
Nice.
It's got all new interior, of course. It's all been redone, and it's got the wheel. He said these Krager wheels. He's been a Krager fan.
Oh, I love
So I've
them.
always left them on there. The Grand, I don't know if you remember the old Grand Am radial GTs.
Yes.
The tires.
Yes.
They're getting hard to find, and I had to find a guy actually clear across the United States to actually get them off of.
No kidding.
For that reason.
Okay,
But
I want to
no,
ask you a serious question.
Those tires with the Kragers.
Now listen. This is going to be a question from Chad Puccio that I'm sure, Ernie, you will laugh at.
I'm thinking I know it's
I'm
coming.
just thinking I almost know this question.
Sight unseen, I'm going to ask you right now, how much would it take to depart from that vehicle?
Not a penny, buddy.
That's
right. Fine, I'll be over to collect the
it.
keys for free.
I knew it.
There is not enough money on the face of this earth.
Absolutely. I knew where Chad was going with that, and there was no way. And I know where that car.
It means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
When I pass away and my boy, whatever my boy wants to do with it, he can
What's
do
his
whatever
name?
he wants to do with it.
Yeah, because that way you won't know about it, right?
That's exactly right. I'll feel a whole lot better if I don't know.
Exactly.
You know?
I'll tell you what. Now that is something because that is like I said. It was your grandfather's car. Then went to your dad. Then now to you, right?
Yeah, my grandfather bought it brand new in '55. Right. Well, in the '54 when that's when they used to bring everything out in '54. And then my dad got it with the automated when he turned 14. My grandfather told him, he says, "Listen, if you continue to go to school, I'll give you that car when you turn 14, but you also have to walk from Meadowbrook to Dawson Mines every day after school, and you have to shovel the belt lines. The coal falls off the belt lines. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, where Dawson Mines
Absolutely.
is.
Yep.
So he had to do that, and that's how he got the car.
Nice.
And it's all history after that.
I bet you didn't have to work that hard for that car either, though, did you?
No, I didn't. It's kind of sad the way my dad passed away.
Hey, Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, in 2010, I was in the field, and I got a phone call, and I didn't really know how to take it because it was my good friends Mark Carter and Tarzan Kane, and they come looking for me and stuff. And I guess my dad had a massive heart attack in the middle of the night, and that's how he passed away. So I didn't get to say bye to him or nothing.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I was trying to go a different direction with that. Obviously, you know.
We understand, Chad.
I miss him every day, but you kind of learn to, just go with things.
Well, you know what, Ernie,
know.
you never get over something like that, but you deal with it. You never get over it, but you deal with it.
Well,
absolutely.
And the nice thing is, you got a piece of your dad right there in the garage.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And listen, man, what a great time. Listen, and if you could do me one more favor, and I don't know if you'll do this or not, because I don't know if you remember when we were riding bikes around East Shinston. By the way, do you remember the time? Do you remember that time that Rhonda Knight came down the street and ran the stop sign?
Yeah, I knew you were going to the Rhonda Knight.
Okay,
I came around.
Rhonda Knight was coming down. Rhonda, she must have went to what was it then? Tacilio's probably.
Tacilio's.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
She ran a stop sign, and just so happened Earn Dog was riding his bike. Well, they collide. Then the great thing about it is Earn Dog did a Superman right through her driver's side window and landed in her pizza. And he's still here to talk about it.
Yeah.
So that's what's wrong.
That was good times right there.
That was good stuff, dude.
Anytime you can talk
I'll tell
about
you
a bike
something.
crash into a car and say that's good times right there, you know you had a
Absolutely.
good childhood.
Hey, I'll tell you something. There ain't nothing like coming down off of Sassafras Hills as fast as you can go, boy, on that bicycle,
yeah.
and try to make
that was fun.
try to
That
make
was
that
the
turn
good
on
old
Pike
days.
Street.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
The
absolutely.
good thing about it, I think she was more mad not because my imprint was in the side of her door, but
You
because
ruined
I
the
ruined
pizza.
her pizza.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, Earn Dog, tell everybody how to get over to
Hey,
East
Ernie.
Shinston. Oh, okay. Well, hold on.
I just want to say, Ernie, I miss you.
I miss you guys
Miss
too.
you, neighbor.
Once again,
Yep, absolutely. We'll have to get together
Yes,
sometime and have a little
come
gathering.
to LaPorte.
you need to come over here, Earn Dog.
Yeah. You need to come to LaPorte.
Once again, Erndog, give us a rundown. Go down East Avenue, North Street, or
the best way to come in would be follow East Avenue till you follow the park signs. When you're facing the park, I wouldn't really recommend doing the loop. I mean, you could come past my house on East Pike Street, make a left.
Right.
But I'd also say you could go right and go up East Pike Street and circle down around UEI Fab Shop.
I got
you. And it might get you around the park a little faster because there's traffic and step in front of my house, parked cars on both sides of the street, except in front of my house.
Right. Wow.
And then it gets congested at the next stop sign before you turn on Ferguson, of course.
Absolutely. All right, Erndog, well, thanks for talking with us, sucker.
Miss you, Ernie.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys take care of yourself.
Hey, we'll see you, brother.
See you soon. And,
all right, have a good one.
Thanks for firing that 55
Have fun
up, brother.
tonight. Have fun.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, straight from me, Shinson, that was the Erndog. Big happenings tonight over there for a fireworks display. It starts at 8 o'clock over at the Shinston Park. All you have to do is follow the signs. If you're not familiar with Shinston, just go down Route 19. Either way towards Shinston, go up Clement. That would be the easiest way. Follow the signs down East Avenue, and you'll see North Street and all that jazz.
Hey, Todd.
Let the emoji fly. Give us who's on here.
Todd, I'll give you $5 right now if you lick the beads of sweat off
you know what?
Chuck's
I'm not
forehead.
going to do that. You know why? Because the last time I took
No, you
For
won't.
free.
Whoa.
You will not lick the beads.
Well,
First of
maybe
all,
not.
I offered Todd.
while Michelle's coming over here to lick the beads off of...
I don't think I'll lick them. I'll wipe them.
Oh,
No, she'll give you $5. You can't do that. I could do that myself.
Last time I took a bet was a $20 bet, I think, from Chad Puccio, that I wouldn't lick Chuck Rogan's belly with my tongue.
All I did was show you a $20
$20
bill. I never said I'd give it to
Hey,
you.
hey,
your money?
I paid you my quarter.
Yeah, you did.
Who's
Darren,
on?
Thank you,
Who
Darren.
is on here?
Hey, AJ Morgan,
Let the
Donnie
emoji
Everett.
fly.
Parker Fulton.
Parker, what's up, baby?
Anthony
Parker's,
Morgan.
once again, Parker.
Jerry Ashby. Todd Hawk.
Parker over on
Curtis
4th
Meade.
Street. Parker over on 4th Street.
Mad Dog.
Parker over on 4th Street.
Mad
He's
Dog.
Actually, he's not on 4th Street anymore.
No, he's not. He's moving to Sandy D's over there on 19, right by
Route
the Chevron
19
station.
before West Milford.
Right by the show.
Cassie Allen.
Dale
Kathy
Cunningham.
Houston.
Dale Cunningham. Steve Chevron said, good evening, guys.
What's up, Stevie? Down from North Carolina.
Wayne Worth. We know Wayne Worth's on here.
My mom and dad.
Hello, Jack.
You got Josh Maxwell.
Jack and Judy.
Hello,
Christopher
Josh.
Griffith.
What's going on
Jack
tonight?
and Judy went up the hill.
Joanne Cunningham.
I saw my mama on here. Cassie Allen's
Isn't
on
she at
here.
the
Heather
beach?
Bargo.
Who?
No, that's Derek's mama. Sorry.
Derek. Okay, we're going to go back to Derek. Go ahead and fire him up.
He said he's on a train right now. I guess that'll
That's
be all right.
exactly what. Send him a text, tell him we're going to be going live. Get ready for it. We're going back out to Cedar Point, and then we're going to get Alex
Heather
Weinstein
Bargo.
up from,
Hello, Heather.
I told him we're
Carsburg
going
on
live
here.
in a second. You just let me know, and I'll tell him
All
to
right,
go.
We're waiting for.
Go.
All right, go ahead and
You want
send
me to
him.
go?
I sent him the invite. Tell him
Yeah,
to
we're going
Go.
to. He accepted. He's good. He's on there.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold
I'll
on.
tell you when he accepts.
Okay, hold on. Tell him to hold tight. We're waiting for a live report once
Well,
again.
we got to wait till he accepts. Then he can...
Right. We're
Okay,
waiting
now
for-
go.
Okay, go ahead. Tell him to
He's
go
on.
hot. He's hot.
You're hot.
You got the back of some dude.
It's
there.
hot in here. He's on a train ride. Okay, we're going to go to Derek.
Here.
Okay.
Let's take a full of clothes.
Eat shit, Derek.
Maybe. Okay. So anyway, that take a good look behind us there. We're with a bunch of different people. But anyway, listen. I gotta tell you. Maybe. Oh, the railroad got working. Oh, here we go. Timed that about right. But nice view of Lake Erie over there. about it for the time being. Beautiful time of year. Old Glory flying on top of the train. All right, I'll give you a call whenever this train rides over. I will give you a call, and I will we'll talk to you here in just a little bit. Recording live, Sandusky, Ohio.
Listen, that shot, let me tell you something. That daggone shot of D-Mac with the roller coaster coming down there.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Would you ever ride that roller coaster?
Hell no, I'm not a roller coaster fan.
I've seen my kids ride some of these roller coasters, and I don't know how that. I would have a heart attack. Before I got off, I would actually have a heart attack.
And see, I
would die.
I feel really bad because I'm not a roller coaster guy
Chuck
either. Carol loves
knows my
some roller
motto.
coasters.
My wife used to ride them all. She don't like them anymore, but Dale Cunningham,
I think
hey,
all
y'all.
amusement parks should be burnt down.
And to the ground.
To the ground.
Hey, wasn't there a haunted amusement park we were supposed to go to one time?
Yeah, it's down there. Where is that? Fido went down there,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
and
he
we
took
even
the
had
bike
the owner lined up, and we were going to go down there.
Yeah.
You see the occasionally you'll see the Facebook post to where you'll see like the abandoned Ferris wheel, as I like to call the Rogan wheel now. Yeah, and it's like yeah, and it's like a couple, I guess, in the 40s or 30s or 40s, something like that. A couple girls died on there, which makes it haunted. It's on a lake. You know,
It's
I don't know.
old
Is
Indian.
it Lake
I
Geauga?
believe so. What is it?
Geauga? Lake
No,
Geauga?
Lake Geauga Lake was actually a real thing.
Geauga
That's where
Lake.
Shamu was.
I know.
Yeah, there was always a SeaWorld and Geauga Lake right next to each
That's
other.
the only lake I know that.
No,
has
it's
a
that
roller
one down in the
coaster,
southern. It's in southern West Virginia.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the heck the name of that was
It's
now.
like begins with an S, like
it doesn't
like
matter.
Shawnee or something.
It's
like
some.
that, Shawnee.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it.
started with an S or a C. Or
Why am I
something
thinking?
like
What is
Like
like Shawnee? Why am I thinking of that for something?
That's you know what? Maybe that's exactly what it is. Buddy.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's talk about real quick about For Vesta. And I'm hearing all kinds of junk going off of
I
this
think
right
it's
now.
people's instant messenger I hear it going off.
Oh, okay.
Bling bling. Is that what it is? That
I
you
don't
hear
know.
that dinging?
For Vesta is this big asteroid flying through space right now, and you can actually look out into space, and you can see this thing. It's that massive.
God, Chuck, it's 300 miles in diameter.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
And one thing we've always talked about is when the end of the world happens. Like today when the electricity went off. And people get so crazy, just like when we were down at the intersection of 19 and 20. People don't know. Listen, and I can't wait to talk to Alex about stuff like this, because what happens is that people don't know the rules of society. Like when you come to, let me ask you guys, you come to an intersection that normally has lights, okay? Traffic lights. The power's out. When you come up to that intersection, what happens? What do you do?
Well, it depends.
It becomes a three-way stop.
Well, now
Three-way, four-way stop.
Well, yeah, now hold on. Now, sometimes you got them flashing lights like I saw it the other day, I think, and they blink yellow.
This was not blinking.
Or they'll blink red. Now, wouldn't the red, wouldn't you stop, but the yellow, you just take caution? Does that be right?
Yeah.
But these weren't blinking because
Right.
the power's out.
If the
so there
power's
was
totally
nothing.
out,
It was
sometimes
done.
There's no.
But
and there's no backup battery.
Okay,
they're
right.
Well,
It's whoever has the biggest brush guard wins.
Oh, well, that
So
would not
today,
be.
the thing is today, I actually did my civic duty, and I came down there by the subway, and I stopped, okay, to let
Yeah.
somebody coming from Lumberport. And I'm stopped to maybe let everybody out, wondering why. Why is he stopped?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out nobody else did, because they think on 19 they had the right of way, and they keep blowing through that thing. When in reality, all you have to do is stop. That's the rules. I mean, you have a driver's license. Study the manual. How did you pass to get a driver's test? What did I keep hearing?
Sounds like something.
Mine's off. It's got to be this one.
It's got. Oh, it's that case. It's that case. I bet you.
There.
It's that case.
That's
That's
good.
what it is. Okay.
We're good.
I know. It's like that misophonia thing. It drives me crazy. Like that. Things like that. Cindy, how are you doing way down there?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We haven't really had a chance to talk to you.
I know.
Busy show.
Yeah, it is actually busy. I'm glad you're back in the studio.
Well, thank you.
We purposely turned down the heat in celebration. Not only
That was awesome.
Thanks,
I
Chuck.
appreciate that.
we purposely turned the electricity off in Lumberport, not only so we could all be in the studio
He was
sweating.
hoping everybody would remove a piece of clothing.
Yes.
That's what the deal was.
Absolutely.
Oh, hey, I don't think
Well,
Chuck.
the
hey,
way
Michelle,
it goes is ladies first,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I don't think Chuck was out there when we talked to you about the big news.
What's the big news?
Oh,
What is the
I
Michelle,
don't-
are you having a baby?
Michelle
Are you having a baby?
What's
You
the big?
having-
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
What's
Michelle-
Would I be
pregnant?
Would I,
What?
What, would I be here right now? I'd be off the bridge. No.
Hey, listen, I'll be right behind you.
Chuck's face.
You were not with Cindy and Darren and I earlier. So
Okay.
Darren,
You missed the big news.
Darren has something to say.
Oh, it's Darren's news. I thought it was your big news.
Oh, no.
I did too.
Well, Cindy and I have decided we're getting married August the 18th.
Whoa.
Say again?
Yeah.
Of what year?
Yep.
Damn.
This year.
This year.
Like now, baby. Now.
Wait a minute. Now, I got to say something here.
I know where you're going with this.
Not too long ago. I'd say it was a couple months ago when we were talking about people getting married, this, that, and the other. And I believe Darren's name was mentioned. And he had around the corner saying, no, nobody looking at me. No.
Listen, first of all.
Yeah, because we were talking about who's going to be the next wedding. And I was like, yeah, no, not me.
Surprise.
But guess what?
Here's what's funny is that Bruce started this stuff at the beginning of the year. Bruce gets engaged. Then not too long after that, then it's like Chad, who's never going to get engaged, never going to happen. All of a sudden, he's getting engaged.
No, wait a minute. I never said that.
Wait, Chuck.
Well, you're
you
dismissing
were one
yourself.
Too. Yeah, you're
But that
dismissing.
was last. I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year.
Okay.
So he purposely left himself out by mentioning this year.
Yeah,
Right,
at the beginning, 2018. The year of
he's
Rogan
protecting
Radio.
himself.
Exactly.
I'm not stupid.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, do we have any singles with coffee? Cuddles Coffee.
Cuddles Coffee.
Listen. Oh, man. Let me tell you.
Are we going in the Wayback Machine?
If you want a date this weekend, go ahead and give us a call at 681-222-7646. We'll get you a date with Mark Cuddles Coffee. I don't promise it to be perfect, but he will engage to you. We promise.
I promise he will engage to you.
He has to.
Swear to God.
He's like the last man standing, and the only person in here not sweating is Bruce, and that's because Bruce is from Japan, and they're used to 100% humidity.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a little sweaty, but...
Oh my
He's
God.
They're used to running from Godzilla.
glistening.
That will make you sick.
Oh, where's your Godzilla sound effect?
So honestly, we're getting another family member into Rogan Radio, and there's more to love.
That's right.
Welcome, Cindy.
I can't wait to go to that
Cindy.
wedding.
Okay, so that's the woman's
I
point
can't
of view.
either.
My condolences.
What?
I mean,
What is wrong
congratulations.
with you?
So we wear black just like a funeral, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm happy for you.
I'm extremely happy.
Thank you.
Why did Michelle Rogan? It's funny. There's a post on Facebook here. She said, "Enjoy my pain." What does that mean?
The pain of living out of East Shinston during the fireworks.
Yeah.
Now, listen, the fireworks are glorious to go and visit and watch, but not if you live there.
Well, here's my thing.
Not if you live there.
We used to go a lot when they first started, but the traffic is why I don't go.
It's horrible.
Now, well,
Getting in and getting out, I just can't
it's
deal
not
with the
only
traffic.
that, but I don't know, what do you say, 3 feet from chain link fence, from our chain link fence to the road.
It'd be like a regular sidewalk thing.
So what happened was, if it had been raining before the fireworks, people would park in the grass on my property.
Yeah.
Now it's my property, but if they pull out or there was all these grooves left from their tires and whatever. Then I've had to go out there several years, pick up beer cans, trash, blah, 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 blah. Everybody leaves. Everybody, diapers. There was literally a dirty diaper left one year.
That was mine, and I'm sorry about leaving that.
Yeah, next time pick up your diapers, John.
Should have been your first
So
clue,
anyways,
Michelle.
about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I got the bright idea that I was going to go put a rope from...
telephone pole to telephone pole.
Telephone pole to telephone pole.
Utility pole, as my dad would say. He's ACD.
Yeah, utility.
He's
Utility poles
OCD about that.
That would take up, so nobody could park on my grass, because not that I mind them parking there, but it had been raining.
Yeah,
So I knew
so-
that if
yeah,
it's raining, they're going to
They're
make
gonna spin it
ruts. They're
out,
going to,
yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm the one that has to deal with the mess afterwards. So I'm putting up ropes. So I go put up ropes. Well, somebody calls the cops. The cops comes out, and they're like, you know what? No matter if we own 5 feet or 3 feet? 3 feet from the city road. So this is city property, and we own 3 feet from that. And I'm like, then why aren't you mowing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Then
shit.
why don't you come out and fix the ruts?
Why aren't you fixing the ruts? Why aren't you picking up the trash? Why aren't you picking up the dirty baby diapers like that are left after? Like, why aren't you doing all that?
Exactly.
So anyways, I am so relaxed today, Ashcock. I was like, this is the best day of my life because I'm not a.
I thought the best day of your life was your wedding.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wow.
This is the second.
Okay.
No, that was the second best day of
But
her
we're
life.
talking about 2018, right, babe?
That's
right. Right back at you. Right back at you.
She was very smooth about that. All right, let's go ahead and get Alex Weinstein on the phone. The guy is the host of Rebel Air Force. He's running for, that means you, Jimmy.
That means you, Jimmy. You can find him on YouTube. He's on YouTube.
He's on YouTube. He's on Facebook.
I am going to put a link on there so all of our Rogan Radio listeners can find him.
Once again, the big fireworks display over in East Shinston tonight starts at 8 o'clock. Go ahead and watch that. Earn Dog said the best course of action would be go down East Avenue, and after that, just find a place to park. So appreciate Earn Dog. Go ahead.
Actually, there's only so many roads open because they close them all off. Yeah. Woo.
Right.
Ooh.
Alex.
Hello.
What is going on, buddy?
Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
What's happening tonight over at Clarksburg, man?
Well, I just took a great big hit of marijuana.
Wow.
Listen.
Right here in my house. Cops invited.
Listen.
Invited.
Hey, speaking of cops, what was going on yesterday in Clarksburg with the that big chase? What did you have
Some
any?
guy was taking my headlines away.
You know what's going on with that? What's wrong with people these days?
That guy.
I don't know. Great idea, except I don't like the crashing part. He can drive fast, but.
Well, you know,
he was crashing into motorcycles and cars, parked cars. He was mobile homes. He was in everything.
Well, that's what I mean. I even heard they had a shootout at the end or something like that.
Yeah, 3 times I think he got shot. Is that right?
I wonder if that was any of my friends that took him out at the end from CPD.
Might have been.
Or it could be. Very well could be. So listen, you have Rebel Air Force going on right now, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
Let me tell you. Give me when you do this. How long have you been doing this now?
Well, I've been doing it on that Spreaker since 2012, but really dedicated, trying to succeed just actually since February.
Oh, well. You know what? And what I have seen, because we haven't really been friends on Facebook too long, is, you know, it's day to day. I mean, or actually minute to minute, perhaps, to where, you know, it could be what you're thinking, but then it could be where you get these phone calls. And Alex, I do not know how you do it. I mean, like when you call up. Like with McKinley the other day. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
How do you do that? What's going on there with that?
You got connections, don't you, dude?
Well, first of all, I pretended to be my lawyer friend Tom Dyer yesterday. He told me don't do it anymore, but he thought it was funny.
Man.
Hey, listen, I wondered how long it was going to take for Tom to say, hey, listen, man.
Well, he apparently got a bunch of calls from the congressman because I told him that Tom was handling a lawsuit against him for some political thing. I don't even know if you can sue a congressman for something political.
Right.
But why not?
And you're running, speaking of that, you're actually running for Congress against that same
second
guy.
time.
This will be the second time that you did this. Okay.
Well, I said it in 2012, and I never ended up doing it. And then I ran actually for the Senate in 2014, and I got 10 votes, and only one of them was mine.
Wow. That's fantastic. Listen, that is awesome, man.
Yeah, man. I would have voted for you, Alex. I would have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm running as a write-in, so.
Well, okay. Now that was going to be my next question. Is you know, politics today is that it's you have to pick one of two teams for the most part. You know what I mean?
No.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but they almost make it. They almost design it to where it's either a Democrat or a Republican, right? So then, what's bad about that is if you're going to be a candidate, and if you want that funding, and if you want all that, you know, that what's the word I'm talking about? The support that comes along with that, then you have to play ball. And then once you get into office, then they kind of manhandle you around a little bit. Say if you want to be on this committee, yeah, absolutely. So like, listen, if you would perhaps become congressman of the 1st district, and you go to D.C. Yeah. How are you going to be? Because you're going to be, like I said, a write-in candidate, so you're mostly going to be you're going to be an independent. But how are you going to deal with everybody else? Because you know the establishment is what it is. You know what I mean?
I look forward to my first day where I get to try to get in with my sword. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to try to do is get into my office carrying this cavalry sword, saber.
Right.
And if they say no, I'll have my first day out on the steps.
Well,
oh my
listen,
God.
And I'm telling you, then this is what I think, you know, and this is what's great because, you know, back in the day, and I don't know how this happened. Are you a history buff?
Definitely.
Okay.
That's my major.
That was your major. Where'd you go to college at?
UPenn, Philadelphia.
Fantastic. And see, I've never been to Philadelphia. That's one town I'm scared
I
of.
don't like to brag because I'm not a bragger, but people don't know that that's Ivy League, so it's Ivy League.
Yeah. Now, is Penn?
Well, we asked Alex. So you're cool.
Is Philadelphia actually a cool place to see? I mean, is there like the old Congress building and the Liberty Building? Is that actually?
Oh yeah, Independence Hall. It's awesome. Except they put a fucking fence around it. It pisses me off. You got to go through a security just to get onto the ground. It's like, this is Independence Hall. Take away the security, or it's not Independence Hall.
Well, there you go. And that's
There's no independence.
Not anymore. But I was watching some kind of, I don't even know what it was. It was on YouTube. I love those documentaries they have on there. And here's what I find bizarre: the United States, in respect to a lot of governments around the world, is a relatively young country. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, actually, our Constitution is much older than most, but in terms of how long we've been a country versus other named countries, yes, you're right.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this. The United States, you have these colonies over here, and they are tired of this quote-unquote corrupt British, crown and all of this stuff, so they break away from it. So then all of a sudden, with time, they become, if not worse, if not the same, worse than what they broke away from in the first place. And what
you're referring to the Yankee government of Abraham Lincoln and beyond.
And it kind of baffles me because I don't know, what is it? Is it because the Rothschilds and the Feds and the federal bank does all of that stuff, or what? I mean, what causes all that?
Throughout history, the people with the very most control everybody else. So the 1% of the 1% people today that have more than $100 million are trying to control and do a pretty good job of controlling everybody else.
And
it's not individual people exactly. It's just whoever has the most. That's all.
Right. So
there are no groups or gangs, there are organizations and stuff, but the point is, whoever has the most power.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this question. So when it comes to, because I'm not very versed on the subject, Alex, I'll be quite honest with you. But when it comes to citizens of the United States, and it seems like they've become over time so reliant upon the federal government. Whereas, say, like in 1863 or before when the Civil War started, you still had a lot of independence between, there was still a lot of state pride. Now it's like about football teams, not so much the actual state. They really gave something about the state. Now all of a sudden it's like the states have sold their soul to the federal government. They tax the hell out of you, and then if you don't do what the federal government says, then, which is back to the two-party system, then all of a sudden you don't have anything. You don't have roads, you don't have schools, you don't have anything.
They use all their power to do whatever they can, and we give in. The states, that is, and then the local communities give in to the states. I like to have power to be as local as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And because everybody's sort of lost their identity and they've become too reliant. Like today, the power goes off. What happens? Well, you know what? They don't know how to survive anymore because they're so dependent on the handouts, so to speak. They're looking for the Public Service Commission to do this, or they're looking for FMLAs here, or they're looking for minimum wage here, and they don't know how to grow a garden. They don't know how to survive. They don't even know how to interact with people because of all this technology and things like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Country boys can survive, but there are fewer and fewer of us.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this question. You have a great idea, and I know you love auto racing. You love it. And we were talking the other day about something like, say, if you would have the power as being a congressman, some ways to influence local and state kind of deals as far as, promotions as far as West Virginia goes. Because
bringing revenue, which is what we need.
Yeah. And you were talking about doing like some kind of a race, sort of like a cannonball run thing, maybe from Clarksburg over to Parkersburg. Explain that a little bit.
Well, in Europe, Le Mans is one of the most famous races in European racing, and it's in 24 hours on a public road. You drive. There's a movie with Steve McQueen. Most of the F1s, they have them in cities. We don't do that in the United States. Maybe one of the two or the NASCAR races have the road courses.
Yeah, there's only like a couple F1 races in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do that in West Virginia because of all the potholes. I think that's a big thing right there. Definitely.
Let's fix the potholes.
On Route 50, I do it anyway. Why not?
Right.
That's because you're a rebel, man.
But you know what? That would be great, though, because what you're talking about is what was kind of crazy. We have all of these roads, and especially in a rural state like West Virginia, to bring in, NASCAR is what NASCAR is, but this is something that is a proven thing through F1. Karts kind of sort of tried it a little bit.
We do not have to use an agency or anything. This can be all homegrown. Let's not bring in Yankees to run this stuff.
And just do it. And that's what I'm, and even going back to this thought for a second, Alex, you're looking at a state that's kind of lost identity, and so they forget their roots, sort of like NASCAR lost their roots. and then they've kind of went too big. They've lost their fan base where all they had to do was
it's not cool anymore at all. Like, remember the old interviews, how much fun they used to be? They would fight after the races. Like, that was fun.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Now, you see, I'm listening to this, and you know what comes to my
crap
mind.
they got on TV then?
What's that?
The thing that comes to my mind is Hazard County Rally.
Yeah, like a Hazard County rally.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I used to love when ESPN was a young station. I used to love watching, like, you know, ESPN would have Australian rules football, which I think is pretty cool. But then it would have these races, these rally car races through, like, you know, some kind of rainy jungle in the Philippines. And these people, oh my God, and they would be right on the road, and these guys would be screaming fast. And it was just like, man, this is great. And these people don't have a pot to piss in, but they were right there watching it. Imagine, like what Alex is saying here, if you're going from
Route 50 would be lined with people would come down.
Listen, you'd have, like we were talking about, you'd have helicopters flying over this thing. It would be fantastic.
All right, well, if I'm congressman, it'll happen in 10 minutes. Well, I don't want to make Donald Trump. Look, it'll happen.
Listen,
I've already got a couple of senators. Senator Clemens said he'd sign on. I got it on the record.
Listen, if you were going to be in the pace car, if you're on the inaugural race, and whatever you would call it, do you have something off the top of your head from what the race would be called?
Yeah, the Western Virginia 420.
There you go.
Western Virginia.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. And if you were driving the pace car, if you were going to ride in that pace car, even though it would be more of a time thing, what would the pace car be?
Well, I'm racing in the race.
What would your car be?
Oh, I mean, if I get any car I want, or if I'm using a car I can actually...
No, whatever.
Just the name of it.
Just if you were going to drive something, if somebody said, okay, this race is going to happen, and this is going to be the car that you want to drive, what car would that be?
I want a 65 Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe.
Yeah. Ooh. See, I like 67 goats. See, I like the 67 goat too. But that's a good one.
I think we should allow all V8s with a manual transmission. American.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, Jimmy has what year's a T-Bird?
My Trans Am's 78. But if I was going to run in that, I would want a 69 Trans Am.
What's the difference?
Well, by the way, here's another thing, guys. If I'm a congressman, you're going to be able to buy these cars again. I want Ford and Chevy and Dodge to be able to build those muscle cars new, spec. Maybe you can put in seatbelts. But everything else, the way it was.
What, is it because of emissions they quit selling them things or fuel standards?
Mostly it's the safety standards. I don't have a problem with new cars having all that stuff, but if you're a good enough driver and you want to have one of those old cars, go have a good time. Kill yourself however you want.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of my platform.
It's like you
want to wear a helmet, have a good time.
You know what? Just make it quick so we don't have to put you on Medicare or Medicaid or something like that.
Don't kill anybody else. Kill yourself.
Right.
Speaking of, okay, let's go to this next subject then. Since we're on medicine, and you said kill yourself. I kind of like that. Medical
Nice
marijuana.
segue, Chuck.
Listen, here's the thing about marijuana. I hear, has marijuana always been illegal?
No, not till the 30s.
Till the 30s,
or
okay.
something like that.
Because I've been reading a lot of stories lately, and it deals with like a medical marijuana stuff. But then
while you're doing that, I'm going to reload.
Okay, but I'm hearing a lot of stuff about medical marijuana, and I'm also hearing at the same time that marijuana actually can cure cancer. The biggest problem is that with the opioid problem, which is that's going to be my question. Okay, I ran into my question. Who treats patients these days? Is it doctors or is it the pharmaceutical industry? What comes first, the doctor or the pharmaceutical industry?
Well, the pharmaceutical industry obviously has a hand in this profiteering from people's misery. The doctors, like my mom's a general practitioner, she gave it to people because they said they needed it, and she respected people's opinions and, about themselves, about their own pain.
Right.
And, hey, Alex. I love your mom, by the way.
Hey, can she write me a script?
We were friends. We worked together way back when.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know your name. I'm sorry.
I'm Chuck's wife, Michelle.
That's Michelle.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, she's the one that had the boat yesterday. We were out there, and you told me get off the phone and enjoy yourself. But that's,
my wife is joining us, though she's a silent partner at the moment.
Okay, but here's the thing: here's the thing, Alex, is that I don't understand how it seems like where a doctor used to be able to tell you back in the day, say, you know what, just go home, it'll pass. But now all of a sudden they're they're so easy to give scripts, and which has what I now, like I said, I don't know. I'm going just by what I read, and so sometimes you just can't go by what you read because there's even a hidden agenda behind that. Yeah. So and then all of a sudden this opioid problem starts, which I don't ever remember happening up until maybe like the last 5 or 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, is there a better way? And say if you want to talk about cannabis, I mean, there's a stigma to it, but if it can cure cancer, I mean, it's proven that it relieves like the chemotherapy and stuff like that, and
in all actuality, they finally did come out and say that cannabis actually does kill cancer cells.
See,
well, all I know is that it has no negatives except maybe the smoke inhalation itself, making me cough. But
they have vapor too.
There's no. It's harmless. Not only is it harmless, it's good. It relaxes me. It makes me think clearer. It makes me think faster. I didn't even want to do my radio shows until I started smoking.
And then
if you look.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, it's you.
Well, when I don't, I didn't have it for various. The reason I said I started doing the radio in 2012 and then I only really started doing it for sure lately was because I never had marijuana consistently. When I have it, my brain fires off like you dump gasoline on a fire. But when I don't have it, I just get depressed and lay in bed and don't want to do anything except die.
Right. And then see, and here's the thing. A lot of people will, at that point, say if you're in that same boat of depression or whatever, they get on these prescriptions because everybody has depression in their life. Who doesn't? Everybody goes through these things. But then you get stuck in these. Michelle, give me an example of something that messes with your head. A happy pill.
Like Xanax.
Okay, like Xanax. Now I've heard once you get on Xanax, you're pretty much screwed. It'll take over your mind.
Prozac.
Or Prozac. You know what I mean? It'll you even hear the side effects of this.
They do. They don't fix the problem. People have anxiety and depression for reasons. I was depressed for reasons. The marijuana helped me forget about the reasons so that I could work on the things. But these other pills, they don't really.
They're not treat. They're just Band-Aids.
They suppress the symptoms, I think.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't. Why is somebody depressed? Because they're married to somebody they don't love, maybe, or they don't like their job, or. Who knows what, but there's a reason that people are depressed. There's a reason you're depressed out there. Don't let the doctor tell you have a mental illness. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard.
Listen, and I'm telling you what, I'm 100% in agreement. When you try to fix a problem with a pill, I don't give a shit if you're fat or if you're depressed, whatever it might be. If you don't fix that problem yourself, you know what? You're just looking for trouble.
Yeah. Big copy on that one.
I got you. Now let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you this one because we'll have you on again because this is actually pretty fun.
Oh, thanks.
And I really appreciate you being a fantastic guest because I just we could just talk about anything all night long for sure. But here's one thing I was looking at. It was with taxes and all this stuff. And once again, this goes back to your run for Congress. Don't you find it funny, once again, going back to the separation of states during the Civil War, while we broke from England during the Revolution and all this, but nevertheless, we're to the point now to where you could pay your house off, but you never own actually your house because if you don't pay your taxes...
property taxes. Yeah, I know.
Now, listen, who in their right mind... How did the people? Why were they quiet when all this stuff came out with property taxes or real estate taxes? I should say.
Well, it's always little by little. It's like, well, it's just a little bit here, a little bit there, but I don't think we need to pay any taxes. You and me and everybody listening, probably, unless there's a 1% of the 1% billionaire listening, nobody needs to pay any taxes. There's more than enough wealth in this country for all of us to have a vacation almost forever. If these people that have so goddamn much that they just have. You know how many acres of land Ted Turner owns? Anybody have any idea? Take a guess.
No idea. Anybody know?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't even know who he is. Who is it?
Hey, listen.
We're Googling
Todd's
Ted
trying
Turner.
to Google. No, go ahead and tell us.
The state of Rhode Island is 1 million acres. The state of Rhode Island is 1 million acres. Ted Turner owns 2 million acres
you gotta
of
be
land.
Kidding me.
No.
Is that
2 million acres?
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's. I mean, he's almost past Vanderbilt you know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say he's almost the largest landowner in the United States.
And I married you. Like I want to be.
Thanks, Alex.
What happened to me?
Control the world. I don't like it.
Well, and then you think about how scary it is that Ted Turner had the CNN and he has this news corporation, which is kind of cool. Which is what's cool about
TBS.
He used to have wrestling too.
Well, I love WCW, but then all of a sudden the internet comes out. then all of a sudden the internet comes out, which is what's kind of cool about what we do. More. We're not very controversial. We don't get in people's faces, which is what you have no problem calling up somebody and calling them out and asking them. Now, listen, they can.
I got the. Anybody know who Delegate Harshberger is from Ritchie County? Does that name ring a bell?
Now I do sort of ring a bell on that one, but I don't know any specifics.
I got him this morning.
Did y'all have to get back?
I would have to Google that too, Alex. I have to Google everybody.
What was that one all about?
Oh, no, I called him because somebody commented on my video by Alyssa Lucas that she's running against him. She's the one that got dragged out of the Capitol building.
Oh, yeah. She wanted to talk, and they wouldn't even let her talk.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I called him on behalf of her unofficially, and pretended to be Tom Dyer. And
you said, "Hey, I'm her lawyer. I'm her lawyer. I need to talk to you." Yeah.
The thing is, Charles, nobody's done what I'm doing, which is being a journalist and a candidate at the same time. It's incredibly powerful.
And listen, and I'll tell you something else. I don't see too many people ready to ruffle the feathers like they used to do in the media. That's the entire thing. They used to do stuff like that. But now they don't want to burn bridges because they know they won't get the interview in case they ever become elected. Now you're going in and you're doing actual investigative reporting. Listen, if they will,
that's funny.
Listen, if whoever you talk to, right? If they tell somebody over the phone something they don't want to be known in court, then you know what? They're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? And you can somehow...
Well, I got this. I interviewed this girl. Her name is Stephanie Zucker. She's running for the state senate up in Morgantown. I asked her point blank, do you smoke marijuana? And she said no. And I pushed her on it, and I knew she was lying, and you can tell when you listen to it. Right. And then later I asked her, but I didn't nail her on it. Then she took out a restraining order on me because I publicized the fact that she lied.
It's like, quit calling me out, buddy. I'm going to change my phone number and everything. Oh, shit.
So if you live in Senator Seipold's district, do not vote for Stephanie Zucker.
So once again, listen, man, we super appreciate you talking. Hell, that was a little bit over, almost a half hour. That seemed like about 7 minutes to me.
Thank you.
We need to get this guy in a chair. We need a chair for this guy.
Oh, you're fantastic!
Oh, funny.
Awesome.
Listen, that is the thing, is because you have this satire, and there's something that it makes me I can see it, and I just love it, man. Yeah. I just freaking love it.
You have that radio voice, too,
and plus,
Alex.
You do have that sexy radio voice.
You have that sexy radio voice.
I didn't really turn up the insanity, though. I could say all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, and then now that's left for your show.
Your show, yeah.
Did we put a link up for Alex's show on there?
Yes, absolutely I did. I put a link in the comments.
Oh, very good.
Where you can find Alex on YouTube. Alex, are you on a Stitcher or SoundCloud or anything like that?
If you just go to rebelairforce.com, as long as you've been using a computer lately, it's not hard.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Now, because Alex has this, because my wife, Alex, said, do you have a book handy?
Your wife's name is Alex?
No. That's my wife, Alex, yeah.
Now, wait.
Do you have a book handy by chance? Or do you have something in your brain that you could read off right off the top of your head?
A book or something I can read?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, listen.
No, I just said Alex has a sexy radio voice.
That's
right.
All
I said.
Okay, now listen. We do this thing occasionally called the Love Jam, and it could either be.
No,
and
Alex.
what you're going to do, you're going to have to talk in that sexy Alex voice, and we're going to have some cool porn music underneath you. So you're just going to have to rock this out, and so we'll see what happens here in the studio because it's already hot, and we don't need it to be 10 more degrees warm. But
so I take it Alex is going to talk to me.
Alex is just going to talk because you like his voice.
I do like his voice.
All right, Alex, knock yourself out.
Maybe you could sexy it up a little bit.
He has like that radio voice.
Okay, so wait a minute. What do I need to read?
Anything.
Just read it sexy.
Just read it sexy.
You can read the preamble of the Constitution if you want.
All right. A particular yellow-tinged fog is all over skies and social media feeds across the San Francisco Bay Area, thanks to wildfires raging hot in not-so-nearby Northern California counties. In this imaginary weather satellite, you can clearly see the column of smoke make its way to the San Francisco Bay and then the Pacific Ocean, mixing with the cloud cover and the fog.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
There is an anthropomorphized Carl the Fog. Can't claim so. Am I still going here?
Yeah.
Go, Alex, go.
That was
wow.
Congratulations. That was fantastic.
In YOLO counties.
That was
filling the
fantastic.
skies. With
I think I got a little chubby.
ashes.
Got a little chubby there.
Shoo, that was fantastic.
Well,
All
I
right.
think he said it's all you get. It's a little chubby.
That is
Shut
great.
your mouth, boy.
Yeah, I was reading this article called "Wildfires Making the Fog in San Francisco Yellow or Visible from Space."
That is
I'll put a link to
fantastic.
that on our notes.
Hey, dude, have you been keeping up by chance on this 4 Vesta asteroid thing? The massive scale of this deal?
Oh, well, we have an asteroid coming straight at Earth.
Well, you know what? We know about it, so I'm guessing no. But this thing has the mass of 3 times of the UK.
I'll fly the mission.
Yeah, no kidding. We were space. What was the movie?
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
You can be Bruce Willis. Was it Bruce Willis in that one? Who's the one?
Yeah,
or
Bruce
Ben
Willis.
Affleck.
And
There
Ben
must be a
Affleck.
better way.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is the one that kills himself, by the way.
That could be you, Chuck.
Thanks for giving away the show.
Yeah, wait, I've never seen it,
Thanks.
Chad. Thanks.
Spoiler alert. This thing's,
It's
a
only like 15 years old.
It's 106 million miles.
I was
away.
a Deep Impact fan of the 2 movies.
Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? Do
Armageddon.
you
Can
ever?
I tell
I
you
like
guys
Deep
something?
Impact.
I'm Alex's wife, and he didn't really do a sexy voice because I'm sitting right here. That's why he didn't do
Well,
it.
then you know what? Then he needs to read that book to you.
Yeah,
He needs to turn to
He
you
needs to
and read
reread
it to
it.
you.
He
Alex-
needs to reread it
Can
to
you all encourage my wife to let me record sex for the radio? Because I think it would get a lot of listeners.
Yeah, but it'd be such a short show, though, Alex. It'd be such a short show.
That's funny. Speaking of movies, Alex did turn me on to one. What was the movie? Kill the Irishman. Kill the Irishman. And this, let me tell you something. This is a fantastic movie. It's about Denny Green up in Cleveland during the 70s. It takes place.
Yeah.
And
76, I think it was.
And they have the Irish, not the Irish, but they had the Italian mob up there running the show. Well, all of a sudden, Denny, I believe he started working for him, but then he went rogue on him. He kind of got tired of it, and he started running.
Yeah.
He started taking over.
You want to tell the end of the story too, Joe?
But but listen, when they
Doesn't ruin Armageddon.
listen, the cool thing about it, they have how many times did the car bomb go off on that guy? That's what.
They blew up his car. They blew up his house. They tried to shoot him in the park. Like 6 or 7 times at least, he was able to avoid assassination.
Now, I'm guessing this is based on a real. I mean, this is a real thing, real story.
Absolutely, it
Those
is.
are the best. Those are the best.
So really, he was a real life John Wick.
I watched
Sort
John
of.
Wick 2 the other night.
John Wick actually is a pretty good flick.
I just showed that one to Carol for the first time the other
Yeah.
night.
It was like he was a rebel of the criminal world. Like criminals are already kind of rebel, but this guy was a rebel within rebels.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny when you start watching this particular movie and you're like, wow, I mean, I can almost feel sorry for the Italian mob, because Denny's going in there and taking care of business, and they're just eating spaghetti, and he's killing everybody.
I like this guy, man.
I like Anthony Morgan says, in a world of Bruce Willis's, be a Randy Quaid.
That's good. Hey, Alex, thanks for talking with us, brother. We're going to go ahead and shut this show down, man.
Thank you, Alex.
But let's do this again sometime soon, please.
Well, thank you all very much. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it, and let's all get famous.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Sounds
Ladies and
good.
gentlemen, straight from
Thank you.
the Rebel Force, Alex Weinstein from Clarksburg, West Virginia. That is fantastic. Wow, you know what? What a great guy.
Hey, listen, that guy was entertaining.
Oh,
you know?
no, he most certainly is.
entertaining.
Listen,
whack.
that is,
Funny.
he is
you know
fantastic.
what? I really do like that version of him. He wasn't his full-on character that he goes into when he gets a hold of these politicians. Because when he
Yeah.
goes
when
in, he gets a hold of these politicians.
He just goes.
He's like a man-eating shark.
Really?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
When he calls up somebody,
It's
and listen,
funny.
and that's what's good about him, is that he'll go up, he'll call up one of these politicians, and listen, it's like, okay,
No holds barred, man.
you're mine now. You're mine. And he's smart enough to actually, get something. I'm not. I'd be scared to call in the first
Actually,
place.
I think you are. I think you would be.
No.
He doesn't have the nerve to do it.
He may not have the
He's
nerve,
smart
but he's
enough,
got it
but
up
he ain't got
here.
the
Oh
nerve.
yeah. He's got it in his head.
Oh, he's got it up there. But
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, that would be so good, Chuck. You know what? I know how start smoking some marijuana, bro.
And I'm going to start being like Denny Green from Kill the
Denny
Irishman.
Green.
Hey, you want to?
Hey, I think we should karaoke tonight. Just to
I was
end it.
thinking of ending it on the top 10.
Oh, I think Jimmy's
Let's do
idea
this.
is
10
better.
ways to tell your car sucks. We could do that
Top
one.
10 ways.
Especially since
We're
we're
gonna
in
end
West
this-
Virginia.
Once again, thanks for
I will
Derek.
say Jimmy's idea.
Once
is
again,
better.
thanks for Derek for coming on the phone there from Ohio.
Yes.
Thanks for
Have
Earn
fun,
Dog over in
Derek.
East Houston. There's
Hey, Earn Dog.
8:20. We're going to go ahead and have the fireworks over there. It's going to be as soon as the sun goes down. And very special thanks to Alex Weinstein out of Clarksburg from Rebel
you,
Air Force
Alex.
for coming in and talking to us. However, we're going to end the show with a top 10 list.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Yes.
top 10 ways to tell your car sucks.
Top 10 ways to tell your car sucks.
You got it up there,
That your
Todd?
car sucks.
Yeah, I got it up, man. Start number 10.
All right, number 10. People behind you change lanes to keep your oil off their windshield.
That's some funny shit. Now I got to find it again. Here we go. Number 9. Tractor trailers are afraid to pass you. Dun, dun, dun.
Number 8. Opening your trunk includes finding a screwdriver.
Wow.
Number 7 on 10 ways to tell your car sucks. Your driveway looks like an oil slick, and the EPA cites you for it.
Number 6, your friends would rather walk or ride a bus to school or work than ride in it.
Quack, 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 quack. Number 5, we're halfway through this stupid list.
Hey, listen, I love the Todd and Jimmy show, by the way.
It is
This
really
is
good.
fantastic.
Yeah, this is great.
We're all just ready to get the hell out of here. But the Todd and Jimmy
That's
show,
because it's
congratulations.
300
Let 'em
degrees
do number
in here.
5.
Do number 5.
Number 5, the motor is so loud that you can't hear the drumstick crash through the nitroglycerin factory.
That was dump truck. Not drumstick.
Shut up. Go to number 4. I don't pre-read these,
Drumstick.
Jim. I don't pre-read them.
Number 4.
Looks like drumstick.
You have ever had to leave it running for fear it might not start back up.
Well, they did that. I've had that problem with Michelle.
Absolutely, you have.
What?
Wow.
What?
Number 3.
What?
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 Huh?
Hey, can I do number
What?
3?
Do it.
Sure.
Number 3.
Go.
You've ever been chased down by a fire truck? It's a way that you can tell that your car sucks. Hey, let me do.
I'll do number 2.
No, you
No,
do.
that sucked.
All right, do
Todd,
number
man,
2.
that sucked.
I know. This is
that
your
sucked
list.
worse than your car.
I'm not going to do number 2 because I don't know how to spell that last word. Pronounce that last word. The fuck? What is that? Huh?
A hoopty.
What's a
Hoopty, dude. Come
What
on.
is a hoopty? What is
Somebody
a
read
hoopty?
number 2. I want to read number 2.
Whoopty?
Okay.
You refer to your car as Beast, POS, Junker, or Hoopty.
I don't know what it
That
is.
wasn't very hard.
I don't know what a hoopty
All right, name the
is.
number 1 reason your car sucks or how you know that it is.
Quickly.
And number 1 is you have ever parked on the side of the road and someone stops and asks you if you're injured.
Oh, thank God. You hit the post, too, Chuck. Hit
nailed
the
that post.
And we are out of here.
I
Listen,
still think we should sing.
We'll do that next week.
first
Chuck's
thing.
smoking.
First thing, man.
Yeah, we'll do that next week. It's only like
Puff, puff,
850
pass,
degrees
Chuck.
in
I
here.
mean, you're choking over there.
It's 1,000 degrees in
It's
here.
1,000 degrees in here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for once again listening tonight. We'll be back maybe next week. Maybe we won't. We'll see how things go. On behalf of Chad Puccio from Monongah, Michelle Rogan down from Webster Springs, Webster County, down at Cindy, newly engaged. We'll have to talk about that. Hell yeah.
Hey, we didn't see that
We
ring.
got a
Should've put
wedding.
it
We
up
got
there.
a wedding.
Oh, there is that ring. Put that thing up there.
There's a big old wedding. Oh, I didn't see the ring.
Shoot. Dang.
Where was I tonight?
We weren't even thinking. We had so much stuff going on tonight. We were trying to fight between
I gotta
everything.
see that.
Congratulations to Darren and Cindy for being engaged. And once again, August
condolences, Cindy.
August 18th
Yep.
is August 18th, right?
Yep.
Is the big day. Listen, you still have plenty of time to run. And you know my advice is
Hey, listen. Todd Beck. I will
Yeah.
never
She's smart.
forget-
She'll run.
I'll never forget the day of our wedding. Todd and Chad had a plan set up that they had a pickup truck that they was
they had to
gonna
pick up Chuck or pickup truck.
pickup truck
Or they had a pickup truck.
that they were going to leave running. That Chuck could jump into the back and they could just take him.
Wow.
Whenever he was like,
No,
I'm
no,
out.
no, no. See, he had one for Chuck. I had one for you when you figured out you were getting into what you were getting into.
I was really hoping Chuck would get in
So
my
there
truck.
were two trucks.
The
running in
director,
our wedding.
Darren Harmon, and on behalf of Bruce Takahashi, listen, you should be used to the heat in here. This is
Who said? Who
ridiculous. This is
That man ain't got to drop a sweat
Mothra,
nowhere.
Mothra
on
usually cools him down.
Jimmy Wiz from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and over here from Lumberport, West Virginia, courtesy of Ohio, the big Buckeye State, or as I like to call it, the Brown Eye State. Todd, Captain Earl Hall. Oh, Todd.
Captain Earl Hall. Todd Hall's what you
Hello.
Todd, Captain Earl Beck. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Rogan Radio.
Woo.